Hey gang, Would-Be Farmer here, halfway between Jacksonville and Orlando, Florida. We are between rain bands. The storm Elsa, which was a hurricane, now been reclassified as a tropical storm. So it is not quite as intense, but it is still going to bring some flooding, probably some power outages, tornadoes, lots of rain, storm surge, etc., etc. Anyway, I met our new neighbor yesterday who was clearing some property. He's a little free with his burning, and that's okay, because I'm going to keep an eye on it. And if it gets really out of hand, if the smoldering or the flames pop up or whatever. But he's a nice guy, and he's going to be a welcome addition to the neighborhood. His family grew up out here, so this is kind of cool. So he's like coming back to the neighborhood. Anyway, so I'm probably going to do about 20 videos today of our neighborhood, or of our property. Talk a little bit about plants and trees and birds and bees and things. And loading these videos is a lot easier if they're short. We don't have the greatest internet, so I may do 20 videos of 3 minutes each or so. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, but welcome to our little community, our property down in South Putnam County, the northeast part of Central Florida. We are, of course, closer to the yeah, growing up in California, you forget things, you forget ocean things, don't you? Closer to the Atlantic than we are to the Gulf. Here's Sela. Hey Sela, what you doing, girl? You chasing stuff, digging stuff, doing stuff? Yeah, 9 lives. They have a lot more than that out here, that's for sure. So anyway, this is the front of our property. This would be the northwest area of our property. To the south and west of us, which would be that direction there, if you were to travel a half a mile through the woods there and cross a couple of fences, you would get to the wildlife management area. I think it's called Lake George Wildlife Management Area, and because we are so close to the Lake George and Ocala National Forest ecosystem, and there are no paved roads between us and that lake, which is, I believe, the second largest lake in Florida. Second to Okeechobee, which is in the south. Because of that, we have lots of turkey, deer, feral pigs, all kinds of wildlife. This place is teeming with life. And we had to put these signs up to try to direct traffic out here, because, and especially before we put these fences up, we had a lot of people who would just drive as close as they can to our door. We had Jehovah's Witnesses that would drive as close as they could to our door when we first got here. And when we first got here, this was all flat. We had, of course, these mature oaks were here, but everything else you see was chopped down by the infamous human gas-powered noise-making mower machine. All of this was flat. Zoop! And of course, none of the falling wood would have been left. They would have put that out and gotten rid of that if they could, because that would be considered yard waste. But we're doing something a little differently here. We're trying to restore as much as possible our little sliver of this ecosystem into as much of a natural environment as we can, and then of course we are infusing it with some nice edible trees and plants that work for us. What I think it might be David Holmgren, one of the co-founders of permaculture, would describe as recombinant forest or recombinant agriculture. We do the best we can with these with the native plants. Like you see here, this is a Polycarpa americana, which is ubiquitous in this area. We've got over 60 that I counted, so it's probably, and that was a year and a half ago, it's probably closer to 100 now. And they produce edible berries. Maybe not the tastiest berries on the planet, but it's free food, nutritious, good for you. Put them in our smoothies. or we eat them out of hand. But anyway, I will stop this video and start a new one because, as I said earlier, the longer these are, the harder they are to load. So bye for now. This is video 1.